Are you aware that someone can be rich today but end up being poor tomorrow? Are you also aware that someone can have a lot of cash or even cash flow as at today, but still in the present, the person is poor? And that is simply because of the poverty mindset as well as the poverty trap. And in this video, you and I need to take a test. And the test will help us determine whether we are poor as at today, whether we are in the poverty trap, or whether we are going to be poor forever. Now, the truth about it is that there's a God forbid part of this conversation, and there's a reality, which for many of us is the fact, and we cannot deny it. Very importantly, we cannot deny the role of God and grace in every human endeavor. However, there is the reality of what we do practically, and of course, the consequences of what we do every day, which can either make one to be poor or make one to be rich, or help one translate into the realm of wealth. And in this video, we want to look at the poverty trap conversation. At the end of the test, you and I will determine which of the categories that we belong to, and there are 4 of them. Now, the first is escaped. In other words, you have escaped poverty already. The second is that you are escaping. You are on the journey to escaping poverty. And the third is that you are poor. And of course, the last is critical. Right? Critical and an emergency. In other words, there is serious emergency here, and we're going to determine that by the end of the 10 practical questions that we'll take for this test. My name is Raymond Ijoma, and I am the lawyer that loves real estate. So if you like the real estate entrepreneur that uses law and real estate as a tool in building wealth for myself and my clients. And the importance of a conversation like this is to help us look at our realities based on fact and to begin to position ourselves for sustainable wealth. The entire conversation or vision around the Fortreal brand is to ensure that we are raising millionaires and helping all of our clients to build sustainable wealth through real estate. And I know for a fact that you can't talk about building wealth without dealing with certain important issues or realities, and that is why this conversation is very important. Do subscribe to this channel, like this video, drop a comment, and be a part of this family where we are building wealth, leveraging on real estate. Don't also forget to share this particular video with as many people as possible, because this video will deliver many people. And before I forget, this video is in 2 parts. There is the poverty test and there is the wealth test. In this poverty part, we're going to look at the realities of being poor or escaping poverty, as the case may be. While in the wealth test, we're going to critically look at our position in terms of our wealth status and how we can scale it to ensure that we truly are building wealth day by day. So let's get right into the conversation. Now, for some of the tests, I am going to have to explain. For others, I'm going to just have to read it, and then you have to take your note. So if you are with your note, or you should be with your note actually, and then what you do for me is to write down the question, right? And towards the right hand side of your note or your pad, as the case may be, draw a line for me. Draw 3 lines for me. Right, first line of, depending on the answer you have to the question, put a 10 here, put a 5 here, and then put a 0 here. All right, and at the end of the day, we'll determine which of these numbers or these categories that you are, and then we're going to be able to determine that based on the score that you get from here. All right, so first question on my list is, do you think that you have a wrong mindset about money or wealth? Now, the truth about it is that not many persons will even know that they have the wrong mindset about money or wealth. But the question here, just to keep it really clear, is what is your impression? What is your mindset about money and wealth? Are you indifferent, or do you really desire to be wealthy and you desire to do so the right way? If your answer is yes, and you have been consistent with that thought, then put a 10 here. If your answer is sometimes I'm just there, I don't really know where I am, then put a 5 here. And then if your answer is I don't even care, I don't even really care, I just want to live my life, then you should put a 0 here. Test number 2, you have no core knowledge on finance or money. Now, the first test was a mindset test. The second test is a knowledge test, because it's important that you know about money and finance or wealth or investment for you to be able to really escape poverty. So what is your answer to this particular question? Test number 3, you blame others easily and quickly for the state that you are, and then even go ahead to hate on people who have money around you. In fact, for you, a lot of persons are suspect, and the moment someone is young and has money, you conclude that the person is into fraud or has done something wrong. If that is you, put a 10 here, and then if you are somewhat in between, put a 5 here, and then if you are no to that, then put a 0 here. Test number 4, you don't have any savings, you don't care about tomorrow, all you care about is today, satisfying today, nothing like delayed gratification for you. Once the money is available, you are in and ready to spend it. In other words, you even spend way more than you earn. That is a serious issue, and if you are part of that, then put a 10 to this, right? Test number 5, you are not intentionally improving and growing in 2 important things: skill and value. Skill and value. I wish I can explain this, but whatever you do, whether an employee, whether a business owner, whatever you do in life, if you're not intentionally improving on your skill that you need for that job or that business, and the value that you generally possess as an individual, whether as an employee or whoever, then it is a red flag. And then, of course, the numbers are there for you to look at. Test number 6, you spend way more than you earn, and you are always in negative debt. Now, for me, I have the concept of negative and positive debt. For almost 2 years, if not more, I have consistently been in debt, and I've been in debt to real estate. In other words, there is almost no month for almost 2 years going to 3 years that I'm not paying for one property or another. And usually I consider it as debt, right? Or liability, as the case may be. But if your own debt is simply to just be fine, bills and all of that, and it is always in that realm of negativity, you're not doing anything positive with that money, then that can be considered as negative, and you should put a 10 to that. Test number 7, you don't have any form of investment like real estate, or you don't even care, or you have assumed and concluded that you cannot afford it, and you don't even care to look for how you can afford it and also enter that realm of investing in investment vehicles like real estate or other forms of investment. And unfortunately, when most persons like this want to not do investment, what they go into is Ponzi schemes. And that clearly is just a proof of the entire mindset put together. Test number 8, you only hang out, or most of the people around you are only people who complain about the economy, complain about Nigeria, complain about where you are, or only complain about not having money. If you don't have people who are really talking positivity and looking into hope to do better and of course live better in life, then there is a problem right here. Or if all you do is live in the realm of hope with nothing but complain as part of your strategy, then there is a problem right here. Test number 10, you don't pay attention to your time and productivity. So time is life technically, right? And then when every day passes and you're not paying attention to the use of that time and in line with productivity, there is a problem. And this is regardless of who you are, whether you are a staff, an employee, anybody that you are. The use of your time in line with a particular goal or vision is very important. And when you are not doing that, there is a problem. And test number 10, you have given up. In other words, you're fine. You don't care. As far as you can eat today or be able to find something to eat tomorrow, then you are fine, right? And that is the last test that you must take. So the question now is, look at your numbers, right? Put them together, add all the figures together. You may have gotten 5 at some point, gotten 10 at some point, and 0 at some point. Now look at them to determine which of these 4 categories that you belong to. So if you scored between 0 to 20, you may have already escaped poverty. And then you need to pay attention to the next video where we talk about the wealth test, so that you can ensure that you solidify your move as it relates to building sustainable wealth. And then if you had between 20 to 50, then you may be escaping poverty. So it's either you are escaping poverty or you are getting in, right? So if yours is declining, then it means that you are falling back in. If yours is improving, in other words, you are getting better by the day and reducing your numbers, then it means that you are already on your way to escaping poverty. And then if you are 50 to 70, right, then you're definitely, you may be poor. I could have used the word definite, but just to keep it general, I'm using the word may. And then if yours was high above 70, then it's a critical situation and you need a quick mental overhauling, knowledge overhauling, and importantly, you need to begin to execute in the line of breaking away from that poverty trap. Now, this is my conversation. Note, this is not a consultancy video. This is not an approved test. This is simply for educational purposes, and it is well advanced and well put together in my book that is coming out for real estate investors all over the world. And then, of course, you can look at this and then give me your answer in the comment section. If your answer is good enough, then please let me know in the comment section of this particular video. And if you appreciate what we're doing, please let us also know in the comment section. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel, like this video, drop a comment, and of course be a part of this family. And very importantly, share this particular video with a friend. Remember, there's the second edition of this particular video, which is the wealth test, and you need that video to solidify this conversation that we are having or we just had at this particular point in time. I'll see you on the next one. And of course, if you're ready and interested and committed to begin your journey to escaping poverty, part of what you must do is to begin to intentionally invest in real estate. Pay attention to all the knowledge conversations on this YouTube channel, which will help you break away from that poverty trap in terms of knowledge, and of course break into the realm where you begin to consider options like investing in real estate. And if you're already in that realm, please reach out to the number shown right on your screen. I'll be happy to have conversations around helping you to begin to invest in real estate today, so that you are building sustainable wealth for yourself. And of course, with investing in real estate, you will definitely be on your way to escaping poverty and breaking away from the poverty trap permanently while building sustainable wealth for yourself. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you on the next video and on the next one.